In the leadership book titled The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by Dr. John C. Maxwell, he talks about might of leadership. Might of leadership. In other words, he summarized what leadership is not into five might of leadership. And he described those minds to be the management mind, the knowledge mind, the pioneer mind, the entrepreneurship mind, and the positions mind. What Dr. John C. Maxwell was trying to help us understand by his leadership mind is to help us understand what leadership is in reverse order, in a short message of creating five leadership mind. I am Isoji Orale. Welcome to Leadership Factory Masterclass. Today, I will want to share a few thoughts with you from my recently released leadership book. It's titled Lead, Unlock Your Leadership Potential. Aspiring and existing leaders' most valuable guide. Yes, it is an existing leadership most valuable leadership guide. And you cannot regret having this book in your shelf and in your hand. Why? In a very short while, you will be hearing some valuable leadership insight from what we are going to be sharing here. And what we're discussing from this book is chapter 1 of this book called Understanding Leadership. So, to be able to function effectively as a leader, you must understanding the basic concept in leadership. You must understand basic concept in leadership. Understanding basic concept in leadership is like is the foundations of leadership, and it can be compared to the foundations of any building. If you are going to have an effective building, the foundation of that building must be solid and must be put in perspective, in the right perspective, to determine the structure that's going to be on that foundations. So your understanding of basic concept in leadership will determine how far and how effective you could be able to lead as a leader. By way of definitions, in the book we have a lot of definitions from John C. Maxwell, from Dr. Miles Morrow, from from Sam Adeyemi, from other people, Daniel Cote, and a lot of other people. But there is a definition I use personally, and that is my own philosophical leadership definitions. And it says, leadership is the art and process of knowing the right thing, doing the right things, and teaching other the right thing. Once again, I want you to have the understanding that leadership is the art and the process of knowing the right things, doing the right things, and teaching other the right thing. So, like John C. Maxwell summarized the might of leadership, or what leadership is not, into five categories called leadership might. I want to briefly also summarize what leadership is into five segments in this today's episode of Leadership Factory. Although in the book we have almost 10 things that connect leadership in that chapter, even more than a lot, but I want to just summarize into five. The first thing that you should be considering when you talk about leadership, or when you were talking about leadership, is purpose. Is purpose. Leadership is purpose. leadership is purpose. Dr. Miles Morrow said in one of his books that when purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable. If you are going to lead effectively as a leader, you must be leading from the place of purpose and personal assignment. Personal assignment. To become a leader and lead effectively, you must first be aware of your life purpose. The drive of leadership is from purpose and convictions from your value. It is your purpose that will determine your values in life. As a leader, you must lead, you will lead better and effectively when you lead people from your area of strength and purpose. That is just the truth. So, if sometimes when you find people misbehaving, it's because their life purpose is not clear to them. They don't know what they should be living for. So if you are going to lead as a leader, you must know what you should be living for. Many a time you are even tired to lead people, but because of your assignment, because of what God has asked you to do, you keep strength, you begin to drive strength from source place. So leadership is purpose. Leadership is purpose. You be you become a better leader when you lead from your area of strength and purpose. Number two in this category is that leadership is service. Leadership is service. You cannot be a better leader if you do not have a notions that leadership is service. The core of leadership is service. The fact, like I am sitting here today, that someone sit in a big office with a big title does not mean or such person is enjoying. Rather, the opportunity is given to the person to fostering directions and lead by example, looking after the welfare of the people. The act of looking after the welfare of other is a great service. The act of living or looking rather after the welfare of other is a great service. So leadership is service. If you are going to be a better leader, if you are going to lead effectively in any position you find yourself now, you must be person who is passionate about serving other. Can I say this? You are a leader. If you want to see or find a leader or sort out a leader in any society, begin to look at people who engage in service among the people you are looking for leader. That is leadership. That is leadership. In the word of Jesus, he said, anyone that want to be a leader must first be a servant. That is what he told his disciples when some of them were agitating for position. He said, no, in this kingdom or in actual leadership, not about the kingdom of God now, is about leadership generally. In this kingdom, leadership is service. So if you are going to serve other, if you are going to lead, you must ready to serve other. And the word service came, the word servant rather came from the word service. So you must be ready. You must be ready to be the servant of all if you are going to be a responsible leader. That lead me to the third things of what leadership connects. Leadership is responsibility. Leadership is responsibility. Leadership is not about being the head of an organization or a head of some people. A real leader take up responsibility for himself and other. Listen to that. A real leader take responsibility for himself and other. That is it. That is it. I used to give an example that the dirtiness of our environment in part of Lagos or in part of Nigeria is collective effort, is a proving of our general orientations of leadership and awareness. How can you imagine how somebody um, eat or drink maybe in a public box or in a place and trash the waste anyhow without looking for those, a waste bin and drop those things. Even though some circumstances doesn't provide that, but sometimes their thing can be done properly. Like every box to have where dirty should be trash. Yes, everywhere should have. But you can as a responsible leader, you can contribute your quota by learning how to do all of these little things. Yes, for like I have just gave that example. Leadership is responsibility. You must be ready. You must be ready to take responsibility for yourself and other. Let me read that example I just gave. I say, for instance, our society is dirty because we do not take responsibility because we all lack self-leadership. We all lack self-leadership. How do you eat or drink water and drop the plastic can on the floor? You don't do that. It shows the level of our leadership, orientations, and awareness. Awareness. So do not forget that this episode is on understanding leadership, and we are in Leadership Factory Masterclass. I still remain Isoji or Ale, and like I told you earlier on, the lesson we are taking today, the leadership lesson we are taking today, is from my book, my recently launched book, Lead, Aspiring Lead, Unlock Your Leadership Potential, Aspiring and Assisting Leader Most Valuable Guide. Do not forget, if you have an opportunity anywhere you are, you pick up the book or you send us a DM to get the book. It is going to inspire you about um, 15 chapters, 15 chapters in this book, and your leadership cannot remain the same. As we continue, leadership is decisions making. Leadership is decisions making. Decisions making and policy formulations is critical and determine the well-being of the people you lead as a leader. The day you step into leadership positions and the day you are going to exit that positions, you will continue making decisions, formulating policy. And this formulation of policy is going to affect the people you lead, either in good way or bad way. Therefore, you must learn how to critically make right decisions. You do not need to get to leadership position before you cultivate how to make critical decisions. You should know that your decisions doesn't end with you as a leader. Your decisions end with people. Whereas I used to say that you must learn to make tough decisions for the futures of the people you lead. Don't just make decisions to relieve people pain, but make decisions that will impact positively the features of people you lead. Therefore, leadership involved making right decisions time to time in critical situations, both in bad time and good time. This decision must always be in favor of the people you lead. I do not mean the decision should be given them just temporary relief. I mean decision that will change their future for good, even it will cause them pain temporarily. That should stick to our mind as a leader. Let me recap. Like I said, leadership is purpose, leadership is service, leadership is responsibility, leadership is decisions making. Lastly, in this episode, leadership is problem solving. Dear friend, wherever you are listening to me, I want to submit to you that leadership is problem solving. You do not have anything to do in leadership positions or in the positions of leadership if you lack capacity to solve people's problem. Like I said earlier on, as a person, as a emerging leader, you should begin to develop capacity on how to solve problem, your personal problem and the problem of other. Learn to do that. Learn to solve problem critically. Leadership position is about solving problem. Leadership position is not showmanship. You must develop technical and problem-solving skill if you are aspiring to lead people. I said finally in this episode that leadership platform is a system created by God to address people's pains and problems. Therefore, you must strive as a leader to put the above submissions in your subconscious mind that leadership is not about occupy positions, rather to serve other. That is what leadership is. Do not forget that this is leadership factory masterclass. I remain your host, Isoji Oro Ale. Before you go, I want to introduce you once again to my newly released book, leadership book titled Lead, Unlock Your Leadership Potentials. Aspiring and existing leader most valuable leadership uh, guide. You can you can visit our website or sending us any message through these informations and get any of this book. It can be get across to you in any part of Nigeria. I am Isoji Orale. Thank you so much for staying with us in this episode. God bless you.